Hey love, welcome to or back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leara LuShae, and this is episode 59 of turning a shuttle bus into a little home on wheels. In last week's video, my stepdad installed my trailer hitch, so if you haven't seen that video and you would like to watch it, then I'll link it somewhere here in this video and also down below. But in this week's video, I will be walking you through how I officially converted my shuttle bus into an RV. So the bus now has RV plates, an RV registration, and soon to be RV insurance. Now, first, I just want to talk about why I decided to register as an RV instead of just keeping it as a bus. So the main reason is the insurance. As an RV, the insurance is way cheaper, like a lot cheaper than what it would be if it was registered as a bus. So that was like my whole reason into going into converting it into an RV plate rather than just keeping it as a bus. And I did have a police officer that did come out to sign all of the paperwork, and he also verified that with the RV plates it would be cheaper insurance. So yeah, that was like my whole reasoning into going into this. But when the police officer was there, he also told me that in some states they require a CDL to drive a bus, like no matter the size of the bus, any kind of bus, you need a CDL. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know that. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, he said in some states a CDL is required, and I do not have a CDL. I'm not a CDL licensed person. I don't know. I don't have a CDL, so I was like, oh my gosh, good thing I'm changing the plates because I don't want to get stopped and then something happens and they're like, oh, you don't have your CDL. So yeah, no, thankfully I'm getting this RV plate. Now, let's talk about how I actually went about getting all of the paperwork and stuff that I needed to register as an RV. So first things first, you want to go to your local B&B and go in there and say, hey, I am trying to convert a bus into an RV and I need the paperwork for that. What kind of paperwork do I need? My DMV was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then they went on their computer, started tapping and stuff. And then they gave me a vehicle body change paper. It was just one single paper. And they told me that I needed to call the non-emergency police line. And the police officer would come out to do a check on the vehicle. And they would check for a bathroom, a kitchen / cooking area, and a sleeping area. So I called the non-emergency line, and that was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they said that they didn't have anybody available for the rest of the day. So I would just say, if you're going to call earlier in the day. So yeah, the next day I did end up calling them, and I told them pretty much the same thing that I said at the B&B. And I said, hey, I am trying to convert a bus into an RV. I need a police officer to come out and do a VIN check for a vehicle body change. They said okay. They asked for the VIN number and the address for where they were coming, my name, and my phone number. I gave them all of that information, and I ended up calling about 12:30 that day, and an officer came out at 1:30, like around that time. So about an hour later, which is what they told me on the phone. They said it would be about an hour. So when the officer got there, I gave him the title and the paper that I got from the B&B. And he took the paper, he went and looked at my VIN number, compared the VIN numbers real quick, and then he went inside the paper, and that was it. And he didn't do like a check of the inside. And yeah, we went to the B&B, and then they didn't accept the paper because we messed up a number on the VIN number. So like we accidentally wrote it wrong. So they didn't accept the paper. So the next day, why do I keep saying so? But no, the next day I called another police officer, or I called for another police officer to come out. A different police officer came this time, and he's the one that told me about the cheaper insurance and the CDL requirements in some states. And he also said that they don't really do the inside check anymore. I don't really know why he didn't, like he said, but I wasn't really listening after he said, we don't do the inside check anymore. And I was just like, zone out. So yeah, I don't know why they don't do the inside check, but he was just like, usually we would do the inside check, but, and then I didn't hear anything else. And I was just like, yay, he's signing the paper. Like, this is how it went. It was like, he's like, we don't usually do the inside check anymore. Like, sometimes we do, but he's signing the paper. Thank you. Like that's how it went. I have no clue what happened, but he signed the paper, and I was just like so overly joyed, very ecstatic about it. So yeah. So yeah, he ended up signing the paper, and we took that paper back to the BMV and told them again, hey, we're converting a bus into an RV. We need new plates. We need a new registration. We need all that. So we gave them the title, the signed paperwork from the officer, and then I also gave them before and after pictures of the bus. So like when I first started the bus, outside and inside, of what the bus looked like versus the new pictures of what the bus looks like now, outside and inside. And then I also gave them receipts for the entire build. Now, I will say the receipts is kind of the hard part, because who's thinking about saving your receipts, right? No one's really thinking, oh, I need to save receipts from a year ago when I first started my builds. Like, nobody's really thinking that, okay? However, I did, because I had went to the license branch to convert something else a while back, and they asked for the receipts of the build. So that's why I knew that I needed receipts. But if you don't have receipts from the very beginning of your build, I would just say, just start saving your receipts right now. Just save them right now. And I don't really think they're going to check to make sure that you have receipts for every single little thing that you got for your builds. Like, I don't know. They was just like, oh, receipts. And they like moved it on. Like, as long as you have some receipts, I think it's good. I don't know. I don't work at the BMV, so I could be wrong. But I think just save the receipts that you have now, and it should work out. So yeah, I gave them all of that, and then they went on their computer and they changed the registration for me, and that ended up being $15, which that was like super cheap. I was like, oh my gosh, this is easy. This is nice and affordable. And then it got to switching the plates to RV plates, and then that was not 15 bucks. That was $127 to switch the plates. Like, just to switch the registration, it was 15. And they were like, you can just keep the plate that you have, but it won't say RV on it. And I was like, well, but then would it be an RV plate? You know? So then I asked them, and they were like, well, no, it technically wouldn't be an RV plate. It would just be a bus plate. And I'm like, well, why would I keep that? Why would I keep that? Yeah, I'll take the RV plate, please. Please and thank you. So yeah, they're like, okay. And then they go back in their computer, pull up the RV plate, and then I paid $127 for that. And they gave me my temporary registration, temporary plates, and I bounced. I was out of there. I was like, oh my gosh, this was pretty easy. Like, wow, first time I've ever gone to the BMV and I was actually prepared to get what I was going to get that day. Like, I don't know. It was pretty easy, pretty kind of affordable, I guess. I mean, it was like not 200 bucks. It was under 200 bucks, but it was pretty close to 200 bucks as well. So everything in a bus build costs money. So I don't really know what to say about that. Everything costs money in this endeavor, in this little build of mine. So yeah, I guess that's it. So I'll like put the steps here on the screen, so I can, like, I don't know, you can refer to this later about what you need, how to do everything that I did. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here for a second. But while I have it here, I just want to thank you guys so much, because I talked about my gift registry for like my bus warming gift registry last week, and so many of you guys like showed out. I was honestly thinking that this was going to be like a super embarrassing moment where I was like, oh guys, I have a gift registry, and then no one was going to buy anything, and I was just going to be like, oh. So yeah, I'm like extremely grateful. I was not expecting so many of you to show out. But yeah, so thank you. I have been crying so much this past week, because I just, like, you know, tears of joy. Um, but yeah, if any of you would like to get me a gift and you haven't gotten me a gift, I will link the registry down below once again. Once again, it is not required. It is not something that you have to do, obviously. I mean, do whatever you want. But I will link it down below if anybody would like to get me something. There are still a couple of things on there that I need. So yeah, if you would like to get me something, I'll link it. Yeah. And here are the steps. I'm moving back over now. So yeah, I really hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, then please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified every single time that I post. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.